Most of us really believe we are in charge of how we act. We think we make choices because we decide to make them. But what if your everyday habits, your cravings, your constant scrolling, how you react to things aren't really choices at all? What if they are just movements you've learned by doing them over and over? More than 100 years ago, a man found out by accident that maybe our freedom to choose is not what we think it is. He was a scientist who studied dogs' digestion. His name was Ivan Pavlov. And what he found out changed everything we think we know about the human mind. Because once you understand how he trained the dogs, you will see exactly how you've been trained too. In the late 1800s, Ivan Pavlov wasn't trying to study behavior at all. He was studying how animals break down food. He wanted to know exactly how much saliva a dog produced when it ate. So he did something simple. He set up little tubes inside the stomach to measure the spit coming from a dog when he gave it food. But then the strange part happened. The dogs started drooling before the food even showed up. They would start to drool just when they heard a footstep or the sound of a certain noises that meant feeding time is starting. And that's when Pavlov had a huge realization. The dogs are not reacting to food anymore. They are reacting to the signs that the food was on its way. The dogs had been taught a lesson without being punished, without even realizing it, and without having a choice. And from that finding, he created the whole idea of what we call now training by association or classical conditioning. Here is the famous version everyone remembers. Pavlov starting ringing a bell every single time he brought the dogs their food. Ring the bell, then give food. Ring the bell, then give food. He did this over and over. After doing this many times, he tried something new. He rang the bell, but didn't give any food. But the dogs still drooled like crazy. Their brains had learned that noise meant food is coming. The sound of the bell itself started the exact same body reaction as the actual food. It was the first proof that we can program the brain just by linking two things together. The bell became the learned signal. The drooling, that was the learned response. Basically a habit that gets deeply ingrained right into your nervous system, and you don't need to think about it. You probably think that this only happens to dogs, but here is the uncomfortable truth. Humans work in the exact same way. You start to salivate when you smell something tasty. You quickly look up when you hear a specific sound on your phone. You check your phone the second it buzzes, even if you know you shouldn't. That's not curiosity, that is training. And modern life is completely built on Pavlov's ideas. Every little ding on your phone is the bell, and every like on your post you made, it's the food. Every app wants to make you drool for attention, a feeling of being accepted, or a shot of pleasure. You're not really chasing happiness, you are chasing the next signal that happiness might be coming. And that's why habits and addictions like those related to food, social media, or games feel so automatic. You've been trained to react to cues that promise a reward, even when the reward never shows up. Pavlov's experiment didn't just explain habits, it became a major tool for people in power. Governments, advertisers, and tech companies built huge industries around this idea. In advertising, they pair a product with something that makes you feel good, like being more attractive, loved, or excited. And your brain connects the two. Drink this and you will feel amazing. Buy this and you can be cool too. The product becomes the bell. In politics, repeat a phrase or an image enough times and link it to fear or national pride. And people react instantly without having to think it through. Pavlov's bell became a way to control people's opinions. In technology, every app alert, every little red dot, every message, it's all designed to train your behavior. You don't control your phone controls you. We are all living inside a giant invisible science lab, and every scroll, click, and tap is just another drooling reaction. But Pavlov also found something that gives us hope. You can stop this training. When he stopped giving food after the bell rang, the dogs eventually stopped drooling. The learned movement went away. He called that extinction, or letting the habit die. The brain learns that bell doesn't mean reward anymore. And that's how you break bad habits too, when you stop reacting to your own bells. When you stop giving your time to signals that promise good feelings but really give you nothing. But here's the trick. If Pavlov rang the bell again later and then gave food, the learned reaction came back instantly. And that's how slipping back into old habits or relapse works. Your brain never truly forgets a learned reaction, it just goes quiet for a bit. That's why just trying hard or willpower often fails. You have to change the environment around you, not just change yourself. Here's how to know when you're acting like Pavlov's dogs and what you can do to stop it. You pick up your phone without even realizing you did. You open apps you didn't plan to open. You feel a buzz that wasn't there or a phantom vibration. You check for text or messages that haven't arrived. These are all learned movements or reflexes, not conscious choices. What can you do about it? Number one, turn off the bells. Turn off all notifications you don't really need. Break the link between the signal and the reaction. Number two, wait for the reward. Wait 5 minutes before you check a ping or a buzz. Teach your brain that the signal doesn't automatically mean instant pleasure. Number three, connect your triggers with better habits. Every time you reach for your phone without meaning to, take a deep breath instead. Reward that moment of stopping, not the reaction. Number four, know your bells. Notice what cues make you act. When you know what the bells are, you can also choose which ones you want to listen. Real freedom begins when you control the signal, not when you try to fight the reaction. Pavlov's dogs were not stupid, they were just easy to guess, but so are we. Every sound, image, and word around you is a bell set up to make you react in a certain way. But the main difference between dogs and us is that we can see when we are being trained. We can stop ourselves before we drool. That tiny moment of pausing, that flash of awareness, is the only line between making a free choice and being programmed. So ask yourself this: how many of the things you want are truly yours? How many of your goals are just the sound of someone else's bell? If this video made you think differently about your own habits, please hit subscribe to The Dark Mirror. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.